Tonight, news from San Diego Comic-Con, plus Marvel switches coasts, Japan slaps down Nintendo, Paramount and Warner Brothers murder and hold, and remembers screenwriter William H. Wisher Jr. All that and more on this edition of Multiverse Tonight.
Welcome to Multiverse Tonight, your source for geek news. We dissect films, games, comics, and much more, bringing you insightful commentary on pop culture. This is Multiverse Tonight. Now, here's your host, Thomas Town.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 270 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm, of course, your host, Thomas Townley, and it is a hot one. It is currently 105 degrees outside. So we went in Wichita, and basically my car right now, it's an EV, it's cooling itself down. It has to cool the battery down, so it's very interesting. It's been a busy weekend for news. So let's get right in to the news with the Marvel news. Marvel news begins with Marvel's future roadmap and the conclusion of the multiverse. Now, Marvel Studios has mapped out its movie plans up to 2042. Studio boss Kevin Feige has shared that he's hinted at a streamlined, simplified universe following Avengers Secret Wars, and a significant push for the new X-Men, and eventually plans to introduce a live-action Miles Morales. During a recent tour in Shanghai, Feige spoke to the Chinese outlet Watching Hollywood and described this year's Avengers Doomsday and next year's Avengers Secret Wars as a conclusion to storylines that began before the MCU itself, such as the fates of the original X-Men, characters contrasting Secret Wars with Avengers Endgame. Feige suggested that the 2027 blockbuster could serve as both the conclusion to the Multiverse saga and the new beginning for the franchise. According to Feige, the studio wants to achieve two primary goals: closing out long-running narratives that started well before Iron Man, and setting the stage for the future. He noted that Secret Wars will establish a streamlined single universe that is easier for audiences to follow, combining familiar elements with entirely new concepts to attract a new generation of fans. Now, at the core of this is the Mutant Saga. That's, of course, the X-Men. Feige emphasized that acquiring the X-Men rights involves much more than just characters like X-Men or pairing him with Deadpool. Rather, it represents a multi-stage saga and the whole universe. An upcoming era will be known as the Mutant Saga, forming the bedrock of Marvel's storytelling. Feige revealed that Marvel Studios recently held a meeting mapping out potential comic stories all the way to 2042. While these plans are constantly changing and evolving, having long-term guidance helps the studio act more purposely, especially when planning the Mutant Saga in a grand way. And the event that they held on stage was big. They revealed a new Ghost Rider, and they also had a lot of guest stars. So head on over to wherever you get your news online and get more of that information. Anyway, in a historic shift, Marvel Comics is leaving New York City after 90 years to establish its new home in Hollywood. During a town hall meeting on Thursday at Marvel's Midtown Manhattan offices, staff members learned that the publishing division would be shifting its operations to Burbank, California, bringing the comics unit to the same corporate base as Marvel Studios and the parent company, the Walt Disney Company. Alongside the geographic location, the company announced a major leadership transition at the top. Veteran comics editor Stephen Wacker, who also earned an Emmy nomination for his contributions to the company's animation projects, has been named the new editor-in-chief, replacing C.B. Cebulski, who has guided the division since 2017. Here's the full memo to the staff. Quote, "Team, we just wrapped a town hall with the team in New York, and we wanted to share some important Marvel news and franchise news with everyone. As we look towards the future, we've made the decision to relocate the comics and franchise division to Marvel's central headquarters in Burbank, California. This move will position the team beside our broader creative organization and create opportunities for collaboration across both Marvel and Disney. Our goal is simple: to continue to make the best comic books in the business, Bringing our comics, film, television, and other creative teams together will help us learn from one another, collaborate, and build on the strengths that make Marvel the true house of ideas. New York has always played a huge part in who Marvel is as a company and in the pages of our comics. While our network of writers and artists is now an international operation, New York is still woven into our DNA, and that will never change. Our colleagues in New York have helped shape generations of stories and characters, and their contributions to Marvel's legacy cannot be overstated. We sincerely hope they choose to continue that journey with us in California. We are committed to supporting every affected employee through this transition, which will take approximately 12 months place over the next 12 months. We also have announced today that Stephen Wacker has been named the Marvel Comics new editor-in-chief. Many of you know Stephen from his years at Marvel between 2006 and 2022. He is a tremendous editor, a passionate advocate for creators, and someone who deeply understands that Marvel Comics is the source code of our entire enterprise. Stephen will be at San Diego Comic-Con and will officially join us in Burbank the week of July 27th before spending time in New York the first week of August. We're excited for everyone who doesn't know him to get to know him. At the same time, longtime editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski will be stepping into a new role overseeing APAC-originated graphic fiction and manga based in Japan. This opportunity reflects both CB's passion for the medium and the tremendous potential we see in that space. We're deeply grateful for his leadership, partnership, and stewardship of the Marvel line over the past decade, and are fortunate to have him spearheading this new endeavor for us. We know that this has been a year of significant change for Marvel, though all of it, this team has continued to show up with creativity, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to great storytelling. That commitment is the foundation of everything we do, and it's what will carry us into this next chapter. For our New York colleagues, we'll be sharing additional details very soon, and we're available to answer questions and support you through the transition. Thank you for everything you do for Marvel and for the fans we serve, Brad and David. So there you have it. Marvel's leaving the East Coast. Yeah, kind of bittersweet. Of course, it's probably for the best. It's probably cheaper to do it from the West Coast than it is pay office space in Manhattan. So and also being this far into the 21st century, most of these writers and creators are working from their own home studios. They're not going to an office to do the work. So it doesn't mean much that they're moving the office, because the creators don't all get together there. They can all do that over Skype or Zoom or what have you. So on one hand, it's bittersweet. On the other hand, it's probably best for business. Anyway, let's go on with the Star Trek news. During its San Diego Comic-Con Star Trek session on Saturday, Paramount announced that the second season of its animated series for young children, Star Trek Scouts, will premiere this year on September 8th, Star Trek Day. Serving as the Star Trek franchise's first preschool extension, the show tracks 3 8-year-old companions, JR, Sprocket, and Ron, during their training to become future Starfleet explorers. They embark on epic out-of-this-world adventures that inspire them to discover, grow, and boldly go. The previous season concluded with the young friends protecting a Klingon farmer's corn crops from small pink alien tribbles. Scouts, JR, Rue, and Sprocket are now tasked with catching every single one before the corn is completely consumed. Developed and produced by Nickelodeon Digital Studios, the series is made in association with CBS Studios. Viewers can currently watch Season 1 of Star Trek Scouts on Nickelodeon's Blaze and the Monster Machines YouTube channel. Star Trek Starfleet Academy is welcoming a fresh face to its shortened ranks. During Saturday's Star Trek extravaganza, cast member Kareem Diane announced that Rita Aldington has boarded Season 2 as regular. Aldington will portray Keats, a young alien with a secretive past who crosses paths with the cadets during an away mission. After cadets take a gamble and bring him back to Starfleet Academy, they discover he's a fugitive fleeing for his life. The series centers on a fresh group of cadets uniting around a shared vision of hope and optimism under the demanding guidance of their mentors. They learn what it takes to become Starfleet officers while balancing new friends, intense rivalries, romance, and a mysterious adversary that poses a threat to both the Academy and the Federation. The inaugural season featured Holly Hunter as the Chancellor of Starfleet Academy, and the main cadet lineup includes Sandara Rosta, Kareem Diane, Carrie Brooks, George Hawkins, and Bella Shepard, joined by Zoe Steiner, Tig Notaro, and Robert Picardo, and many more. And, it was a good season. Of course, this will be the last season because Paramount cut the show after season 2. So, yay, boo, both at the same time. Anyway, let's go on to the Star Wars news.
Roger, Roger.
In the early 2010s, creators Seth Green and Matthew Senrich developed an animated Star Wars parody series called Detours. The series never made it to the airwaves. After the Walt Disney Company acquired Lucasfilm in 2012, they worried it would be permanently shelved. However, the public and Star Wars enthusiasts will be at last get a chance to see a selection of these episodes. They're slated to be part of the extensive exhibitions at the upcoming Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. During a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, Green, who co-created the project alongside his robot chicken partner Senrich, announced that a curated selection of episodes will be publicly displayed. The duo took to Hall H to provide a sneak peek into the Lucas Museum, which is scheduled to open its doors in September. Joining them for the presentation were renowned comic artist and DC head Jim Lee, alongside Ryan Linkoff, the museum's senior curator and head of film programs. The session was moderated by Kiki Palmer. Linkoff shared details about the facility, noting that its 100,000 square feet of exhibition space will encompass more than 33 galleries. Additionally, the museum will house 2 distinct theaters running continuous loops of shorts and films to showcase how imagery serves as a powerful medium for storytelling, technology, and individual creators. Guests can enjoy a flexible gallery-style viewing experience at both the Robert Flaherty Theater and the Slavko Vornapich Theater. The Flaherty Theater will emphasize documentary content, spotlighting the lives and creative journeys of artists featured throughout the museum, featuring subjects like Norman Rockwell, Charles Schultz, Maurice Sendak, and others. We'll also stream projects such as a Comic Book Confidential directed by Robert Mann. Meanwhile, the Vorkapich Theater will celebrate the concept of motion of emotion. Its programming will include early silent cinema works by pioneers like George Méliès, Amélie Cole, W.K.L. Dickinson, and Edwin S. Porter. Audiences will also enjoy vintage animation from Winsor McKay, classic Looney Tunes shorts, animation selections from Cowboy Bebop, an entry from Star Wars Visions, and student films produced by George Lucas. A promotional trailer for the museum's upcoming film lineup also introduced by Linkoff during the panel. The speakers elaborate on how this institution sets itself apart from traditional museums by intentionally focusing on popular art and accessible art forms. Lee, whose own work will be represented in the museum following a personal tour, lauded the project's mission. He noted that it treats commercial art, mass media, and pop entertainment with the exact same prestige and care typically reserved for fine art, modern art, and contemporary institutions. Green shares his enthusiasm, reflecting on a shift from a fan's perspective, quote, We've lived long enough to see all the stuff that we were beaten for loving become the fine art of our day. He said, calling the cultural evolution extraordinary. So someone will finally get to see the Star Wars Detours. Hopefully, some enterprising individuals will shoot it with cell phones, so at least the rest of us can see it. Or, if they're smart enough and, it's well-liked enough, maybe they'll release it on YouTube. Who knows? Anyway, let's get on with the geek news. Upcoming Hulu specials. Hulu will debut 2 new Family Guy specials in 2026. The first, a Halloween-themed installment titled Happy Hell-O-Ween. Although it's the exact release date is not settled, it will be this fall. The episode features Kieran Culkin, guest starring as Satan. In the special, Brian and Stewie are sent to hell to answer for 24 seasons of misbehavior. A promising premise, given that the duo's dedicated episodes are historically among the franchise's finest. Later in the year, the Christmas special titled The Peter Claus will center on Peter and his friends fighting to become the official Santa of Quahog. A confirmed release date for the holiday special was also not announced. Family Guy Season 25 is slated to premiere early next season as part of Fox's mid-season animation domination lineup, alongside Bob's Burgers and American Dad. Looking further ahead, the franchise is expanding with a brand new spin-off series centered entirely on Stewie as he attends a new preschool and interacts with a completely fresh group of characters. Now, the new show is planned for 2027. This new series spin-off already received a 2-season order from Fox in March, scheduling its premiere for the 2027-2028 broadcast season, with next day streaming available on Hulu. The series is produced by 20th Television Animation, with Seth MacFarlane executive producing under the Fuzzy Door banner, and Butler serving as showrunner. The series follows the Griffin's evil genius toddler's son as he gets kicked out of his old preschool, forced to enroll in a subpar new facility. Stewie finds himself surrounded by unfamiliar peers, an irresponsible teacher, and a century-old class turtle. While everyone is totally miserable, the school routine turns into a series of wild time and space traveling adventures when Stewie deploys his array of high-tech devices. The new ensemble cast provides a fresh dynamic for Stewie to play against. There will, of course, be Seth MacFarlane playing Stewie and Bean. MacFarlane takes on double voiceover duties, returning as both Stewie and Bean, a quiet classmate who has been dropped on his head a few too many times. Kenan Thompson will play Royal, a new friend of Stewie's who maintains a cautious, negative attitude towards the dangers of their space-time adventures. Vanessa Bayer will play Morgan, the classroom teacher, who would rather spend her time partying than supervising the children. Mark Henry will voice BJ, a gossipy new student who is the son of the Griffin's neighbor Bruce. Oh no! Melissa O'Neill will make her animation debut as Wanda, an intellectual peer who serves as Stewie's soulmate and romantic interest. Jessica Lowe plays Caroline, a classmate and aspiring social media influencer who acts as Stewie's primary rival at the school. And Aaron Lee voices Skunk, a 100-year-old class turtle known for sharing half-cocked wild theories on various subjects. Also, Bob's Burgers will be returning with an exclusive original project for the Disney streaming platform, following the path of other shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons. During the Bob's Burgers panel at San Diego Comic-Con Saturday, creator and executive producer Lauren Bouchard announced On the Fourth Day of Christmas, a holiday short scheduled to premiere during the upcoming holiday season. In the U.S., the special will stream exclusively on Hulu, with international releases planned for Disney Plus in most markets. The plot of On the Fourth Day of Christmas follows the Belcher children as they look to build a record-breaking Christmas snow fort after a record-breaking snowstorm hits. This marks the first time Bob's Burgers, and the third longest-running Fox animated series from 20th TV Animation, has produced original streaming specials. The trend began a couple of years ago when Fox started ordering shorter broadcast seasons for The Simpsons and Family Guy. To keep annual output stable, 20th TV Animation began diverting the surplus episodes to Hulu and Disney Plus, where the show's libraries are housed. Similar streaming exclusive content includes the aforementioned Halloween and Christmas specials for Family Guy, as well as the recent Simpsons releases on Disney Plus. In May, The Simpsons announced the double-episode Extreme Makeover Homer Edition, which was released on June 17th, followed by full-length episodes Simpsonly on July 3rd, and the Black Mirror-inspired Yellow Mirror on August 26th. Season 17 of Bob's Burgers is scheduled to premiere on Fox during the 2027 mid-season. It also is available to stream on Hulu and Disney Plus outside the United States. Now, this one's a big one. Fans of Futurama have plenty to look forward to, as Hulu has officially greenlit 3 extended-length, extra large-size specials that are currently in production. Revealed during the show's panel at San Diego Comic-Con, the first of these upcoming episodes will be Christmas-themed and slated to debut in 2027. While specifics regarding the other two specials are being held confidential, the streaming platform also shared a new trailer for the upcoming 14th season to tide audiences over. The new trailer highlights an intergalactic and potentially interdimensional journey, with the official logline teasing, "Brace yourselves, the future is about to get a whole lot stranger." It's a non-stop onslaught of swaggering space pirates, lab-grown meats, sexy scams, plus the shocking return of Dr. Zoidberg's lost love. You didn't see that coming prior to being told about just now. Season 14 will feature, of course, John DiMaggio, Billy West, Katie Seagal, and the others. And the major highlight was the announcement by series creator Matt Groening, that season 14 will include a full crossover episode with Disenchantment, another animated series from its extended universe. Although Disenchantment wrapped up its 50-episode run on Netflix, it exists within the same timeline as Futurama, a show previously teased via in-show Easter eggs. Co-showrunner Josh Weinstein confirmed on social media that a sneak peek of this crossover is visible in the new trailer, which suggests the crew might use a time machine to travel back to the Disenchantment era. Much like the previous Simpsons crossover Simpsorama, this event will reunite viewers with the extended Disenchantment cast. Season 14 will premiere on Monday, August 3rd, launching with 2 episodes on Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers, and Disney Plus internationally for those outside the United States. Now, for some non-comic book Comic-Con news, the Japan Patent Office recently rebuked Nintendo's objections to the rejection of its Pokemon-related patent application 2026-019762, which seeks ownership over systems for catching, battling, and riding Pokemon. The application was originally refused in April 2026 because the described mechanics were too similar to prior art, specifically a 13-year-old gameplay video of an unofficial fan-made Pokemon game. In June, Nintendo contested the refusal, arguing that gameplay videos do not qualify as prior art for a video game patent, and that unlicensed copyright-infringing work should not be used to judge obviousness. Nintendo also objected to the examiner using official names like Pikachu and Bulbasaur rather than labeling them as infringing characters. The JPO dismissed Nintendo's arguments, stating the copyright infringement has no bearing on patentability under Japanese law, and that gameplay videos are sufficient evidence for a refusal. The examiner also noted that using official terminology does not alter the fact that the application lacks an inventive step. Nintendo now has 3 months to petition for an appeal trial regarding the decision. Even though more than 10 years has passed since Disney purchased Lucasfilm Limited, they have shown a surprising reluctance to prioritize the Indiana Jones franchise. In contrast to the rapid expansion of the Star Wars publishing universe, there has been no comic book companion to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, when it premiered in 2023. However, that is changing with Marvel's announcement at San Diego Comic-Con during the Lucasfilm publishing panel of a brand new Indiana Jones comic book series debuting in December of 2026. Titled Indiana Jones and the Sword of Pandemonium, the project is a 5-issue limited series that serves as a direct continuation of the events from Raiders of the Lost Ark. The comic is written by Jason Aaron, the writer behind Marvel's 2015 Star Wars series, and features illustrations by Daredevil artist Aaron Kunder. The launch issue will also feature variant art by Cooter, Brian Hitch, and Alex Ross. According to the official synopsis for the first issue, Indy's most infamous enemies, including the shocking resurgence of a past nemesis, are haunting a terrifying new power source to reclaim what they lost. This biblical weapon has ended up in the hands of his former partner, Marion Ravenwood, forcing Indiana Jones to travel across the globe on an epic quest. The journey will severely challenge both his archaeological expertise and his skepticism regarding the supernatural. As teased in the initial entry, the launch represents the opening chapter in Marvel's broader strategies for the franchise, kicking off a new era of Marvel Comics Indiana Jones storytelling. That's at least something. It can't be worse than the Dial of Destiny. I'm sorry, that movie just I couldn't even finish it. Anyway, Paramount has entered into a stipulation delaying the completion of its proposed merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. The transaction is now on hold until June 1st, 2027, or until shortly after a merits ruling is reached in the lawsuits filed by the Writers Guild of America and various state attorneys general. This arrangement represents an unexpected shift for the merger, which had previously secured antitrust clearance in both the European and U.S. federal systems. News of the court filing broke during the final hour of Wall Street trading, compelling a weak performance for Paramount shares. The stock dropped 3.3% during the regular session to close at $8.21 after hitting a 52-week low of $8.17, and they subsequently lost another penny in extended trading. The backdrop to this agreement includes recent actions by U.S. District Judge Araceli Martinez-Olgun, who issued an initial 14-day temporary restraining order to pause the deal ahead of a preliminary injunction hearing. The judge later extended that TRO through August 17th. Following these rulings, both sides indicated a preference to move directly towards scheduling a full trial. Reacting to the recent development, California Attorney General Rob Bonta released a social media statement characterizing the pause as, quote, a major victory for a free and fair economy, for the entertainment industry, for workers, for consumers, and for affordability, unquote. He noted that he would provide further comments during a press briefing on Friday afternoon. The ongoing litigation carries significant financial stakes. Paramount faces a potential ticking fee of $7 million per day payable to Warner Bros. Discovery for every day the transaction remains unconsummated past September 30th. Given the new timeline, the legal proceedings are highly likely to overshoot that target date. Additionally, the merger agreement contains a $7 billion breakup fee if the transaction ultimately fails to close. According to the joint court document submitted on Friday, the defense counsel and plaintiffs agree, quote, the transaction at issue in the state of California and Writers Guild shall not close, be consummated, or otherwise be completed, and defendants will not take any steps, directly or indirectly, to integrate or consolidate their operations pursuant to that transaction until the earlier of 1. 5 days after the merits determination in these matters, or 2. June 1st, 2027. The mandate applies broadly to the defendant's employees, attorneys, officers, agents, and active participants. A spokesman for Paramount expressed optimism regarding the adjusted path, saying, quote, today's agreement is a significant win because the result is exactly what we have sought from the outset, a direct path to the trial based on the evidence. This is the fastest and clearest way to prove that this transaction is good for competition, good for consumers, and good for creators, a conclusion dozens of competition authorities around the world have already reached. Plaintiff's market definitions bear no relationship to the reality of today's marketplace and cannot withstand scrutiny. We look forward to proving our case at trial, unquote. Although the scheduling framework requires the judge's formal signature to take effect, she has previously directed the opposing legal teams to collaborate on an agreed timeline. The Writers Guild of America, both East and West, issued a joint statement validating the development. Quote, Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery today agreed to what the state attorney general and the WGA both sought from the court. The merger will be put on hold pending the outcome of the state's and WGA's cases or until June 1st, 2027, whichever comes first. It remains our view that this merger is unlawful and we will continue to fight to block it. New York Attorney General Letitia James, who is part of a 12-state coalition contesting the combination, also praised the stay, quote, from the workers and artists who bring stories to life to the families who buy tickets at the box office. Paramount's illegal takeover of Warner Brothers is a bad deal for those who count on competitive entertainment industry. Halting this merger while our case proceeds is a critical victory in our efforts to uphold the law and protect the film and television industries. I look forward to continuing our case to stop this illegal merger. Under the terms of the new stipulation, the parties have abandoned their prior briefing schedule and canceled all preliminary injunctions that were set for August 3rd. Instead, counsel will submit a joint statement regarding trial scheduling at the end of this week. The upcoming animated Rick and Morty spinoff, President Curtis, has secured a second season renewal before its season premiere. The creative team announced the news on Friday at the show's Comic-Con panel, confirming that Keith David will voice the titular role. David shared the update at the convention alongside fellow cast members Jim Rash and Stephanie Beatriz, as well as exec producers and co-creators James Siliciano and Dan Herman. Production for the second season is already underway, with new episodes set to follow President Curtis and his crew as they tackle strange sci-fi missions, unfamiliar allies, and fresh cryptid threats. Quote, President Curtis quickly proved himself worthy of another term. With Keith David's inimitable and endearing performance, and with the creativity of Dan James and the entire show team, this series and this president are what the people need more of, even if they don't know it yet, said Adult Swim president Michael Owlin. Said within the Rick and Morty universe, the series stars David, Beatrice, and Rash as they look to do, as the trailer said, X-Files stuff. And it actually looks like a good show. I'm kind of looking forward to it. The premiere date has been revealed for the first new animated series in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe in over 10 years. Paramount Plus announced on Thursday that Avatar: Seven Havens will debut on August 9th. The announcement took place at the Comic-Con panel for the animated movie Avatar: Aang: The Last Airbender, which opens this weekend on Paramount Plus and in select theaters for awards consideration. Read by Avatar masterminds Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, Seven Havens takes place long after the events of the follow-up series The Legend of Korra. The narrative follows a young Earthbender who learns she is the new Avatar. Though the show's logline notes that this marks her as humanity's destroyer, not savior. Pursued by both spiritual and human adversaries, she must team up with her long-lost twin to uncover their cryptic past and rescue the Seven Havens before the last bastions of civilization fall. Or the series in February of 2025, Seven Havens arrives more than 21 years after the 2005 debut of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which later received a live-action Netflix adaptation, and 12 years after the conclusion of The Legend of Korra. The 26-episode series is produced by Nickelodeon and Avatar Studios. During a promotional event for his upcoming film Ebenezer, directed by Ty West, Johnny Depp captivated audiences at San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday by appearing in full costume as an Ebenezer Scrooge. The surprise appearance was part of an elaborate marketing stunt by David Ellison's Paramount Pictures, which transformed a section of San Diego's Gaslamp District into a replica of the 1880s British Christmas village. The event kicked off with the Victorian carolers singing holiday tunes before Depp, sporting a nose prosthetic, appeared at a storefront window and stepped out to greet the waiting crowd. Remaining fully in character, the three-time Oscar nominee dismissed a spectator's greeting of "Good day to you, Mr. Scrooge," with a sharp "What's so good about it?" and responded with grumbles when another actor in period costuming brought up the topic of fair wages. Throughout the performance, fans shouted expressions of love, to which Depp eventually offered a quiet humbug before making his exit. The movie is a new adaptation of the Charles Dickens classic and is scheduled to hit theaters on November 13th. The unconventional promotional tactic allowed Paramount to capture major attention at Comic-Con, creating a standout moment after DC's Jim Lee panel previewed James Watkins' Clayface and ahead of Disney's anticipated Marvel panel. Rather than relying on a standard Q&A panel with actors and footage, the studio created buzz for its new show. So, I have to hand it to Johnny Depp and those actors. That probably was terrible because I'm sure he was dressed in like full getup, which means winter coats and fur and all those trappings. That had to be hell. I mean, even San Diego might have been cooler. I don't know what the temperature in San Diego was. That had to be just hell. He probably lost 2 pounds just, doing that bit and going back in. Not to mention those poor day players that were in outside costume. Lego has officially teamed up with Gillian Anderson to unveil its brand new set based on The X-Files, composed of 1,478 pieces and 8 distinct minifigures. The creation stems from the fan favorite Lego's idea platforms, where users submit concepts or vote on by the community for potential official production. A specific set was originally designed by Brent Waller, an Australian 3D artist and fan designer, as part of the platform's 90s Nostalgia Challenge. Waller, who began building Mulder's office as a personal object in 2014 while rewatching the series, explained that his goal was to combine nostalgia, intricate detail, and storytelling to perfectly capture the show's signature atmosphere. The comprehensive set features a detailed replica of FBI agent Fox Mulder's office, a forest clearing scene, and a hovering UFO. The 8 minifigures include Fox Mulder, Dana Scully, Walter Skinner, Mr. X, Alex Krycek, Carl Busch, the Fluke Man, and the Gray Alien. Inside the office, the builders will discover iconic references and Easter eggs, including the famous I Want to Believe poster, an X-Files dossier, a Truth is Out There tile, a nod to Mulder's sunflower seed habit, and pencils embedded in the ceiling. Reacting to the release, Anderson shared that seeing herself transformed into a minifigure was both surreal and charmingly delightful. She praised the set as a brilliant celebration of the series and noted that she cannot wait to display the tiny version of Scully on her shelf. The market launch, Anderson also starred in a promotional video featuring a nod to her character as she conducts an investigation that leads her directly to the new Lego set. This set will retail for $199.99, with Lego Insider's Early Access members getting first opportunity to purchase at lego.com starting August 1st. The general audience will then get to purchase the set on August 4th. Furthermore, customers who complete their purchase between the 1st and the 10th will receive a special bonus gift while supplies last, titled The X-Files Scully's Lab, which allows fans to build the classroom laboratory at the FBI National Academy and includes a minifigure of Dana Scully wearing scrubs and a lab coat. They also revealed the next Star Trek set, which is going to be the original series bridge. So, there you go. Amazon MGM Studios has officially greenlit the horror drama series Stillwater just before Comic-Con. Produced by Warner Bros. TV, Berlanti Productions, and Skybound Entertainment, known for The Walking Dead, the show was given an 8-episode order, and it's released on the Skybound graphic novel created by Chip Zdarsky and Ramon K. Perez. The mind-bending horror thriller is co-written by Greg Berlanti and Carly Ray, both of whom are currently under overall deals with the BBTV. The plot follows former convict Daniel West, who travels to the small town of Stillwater after receiving a cryptic letter that promises a large inheritance and answers regarding his history. Upon arrival, he uncovers a strange community where no one dies, nothing ages, and escape is impossible. Mm-hmm. No one dies, nothing ages, and escape is impossible. So, Congress. Ba-dum, boom, Amazon MGM Studios has officially ordered RoboCop, the series, following an extensive development period. Produced alongside Blumhouse Atomic Monster, the show will be led by veteran showrunner Peter Ocko. The narrative centers on a massive technology conglomerate that persuades city officials to induct an advanced robot into the police department. This mechanical officer is uniquely powered by the transplanted consciousness of a widely respected deceased policeman. The project signifies a key step in utilizing the studio's existing intellectual property, following Amazon's acquisition of MGM in 2022. A report from Deadline in April of 2023 highlighted RoboCop as part of a potential first wave slated for television adaptation. Other projects earmarked for development included Legally Blonde, Barbershop, Stargate, The Magnificent Seven, Poltergeist, and Fame, whereas Pink Panther and the Thomas Crown Affair were designated for theatrical remakes. You're dead or alive, you're coming with me. I don't think RoboCop will be the same without Peter Weller, though. Just saying. The upcoming television series marks a strategic effort by the studio to leverage its Disney Plus has officially greenlit Afterlife with Archie, an hour-long drama series adapted from the best-selling Archie comic horror series by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and Francesco Francavilla. The new series is slated to premiere on the streaming platform just in time for Halloween 2027. The series order comes 9 months after Disney Plus originally secured the project with major scripted series commitments. It brings together the same creative forces responsible for the chilling adventures of Sabrina on Netflix and Riverdale on the CW. Writer Aguirre Sacasa, Greg Berlanti's Berlanti Productions, and Warner Bros. Television are all in the production. Now, this will utilize iconic characters from the Archie comics. Afterlife with Archie reimagines the whole town of Riverdale as a landscape devastated by zombie apocalypse, where navigating your teenage years becomes secondary to surviving the undead. The chaos begins when a supernatural spell cast by a well-known teen witch goes awry, unleashing a horde of possessed dead upon the town. To stay alive, Archie and his group of friends must fight back, putting their long-standing romances, loyalties, and friendships to the ultimate test. And finally tonight, William H. Wisher Jr., a producer and screenwriter who co-wrote the Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, has passed away at the age of 71. The Wisher's family confirmed news of the filmmaker's death, saying he passed away peacefully at home. Quote, William believed that stories have the power to connect people across generations. While the world celebrates the unforgettable films he helped create, we will remember him for his kindness, his humor, his brilliant imagination, and the love he gave so freely to his family and friends. We're grateful for the outpouring of love and support during this difficult time, unquote. Wisher helped redefine the sci-fi action genre as one of the writers of James Cameron's The Terminator when it was released in 1984. The screenwriter would return to work with Cameron for the sequel, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Other films in which Wisher worked include 1995's Judge Dredd, The 13th Warrior, Exorcist The Beginning, Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, Live Free or Die Hard, and IT. On hearing of Wisher's passing, Terminator producer Gail Ann Hurd wrote, quote, such terrible sad news. Bill was not only integral to the Terminator, but he was such an all-out-round great guy. R.I.P., unquote. Wisher is survived by his wife, Deborah Lynn Wisher, his siblings Brian Wisher, John Wisher, Carla DeMasi, and Dana, and many nieces, nephews, cousins, and extended family members. Again, William H. Wisher Jr. was 71 years old. And that concludes today's episode, Multiverse Tonight. Now, please, if you want to connect to us on social media, follow our updates on Blue Sky and Twitter at Multiverse Tom, or find us on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Multiverse Tonight. If you enjoy this show and want to support our work, please visit Multiverse Tonight to access our Patreon and Ko-fi pages, explore show notes, browse our TeePublic merchandise shop, and while you're there, give us some ratings and reviews. Thank you for those of you tuning in the first time. We extend a warm welcome and a sincere thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe and pass the show along to friends. Special thanks to Hot Dope for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching this edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the latest comic book and sci-fi news. Until next time, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2026, all rights reserved.